Welcome to Tarot with Tanya. 7 cards for 7 days. And we are looking at the first week of May. Obviously 2023, and we are starting with a moon in Virgo, and we will end next Sunday with the moon in Sagittarius. And what happens a couple of days before that is the lunar eclipse in Scorpio, which is also the full moon. And we've been in this kind of trough between that eclipse that happened, the solar one in Aries, and then now we're moving into this one in Scorpio. So it's been a big time of wrapping up things that have to do with Scorpio and balancing that out with what's happening on the opposite side of the zodiac wheel, which would be Taurus energies, the earthiness, very much connected to spring. The sun is there right now, growing things, natural resources, those kinds of energies. So if you have a Scorpio moon, Scorpio sun, Scorpio rising, you probably are feeling this more than most. So again, looking for places where you might let go of some of the old scorpionic tendencies, which could be, on the dark side, lusting for revenge, or, feeling bitter about things, and how can we honor our feelings and at the same time try to move those into a place of higher vibration for ourselves, so that we, as a dear friend said earlier today, draw better things to ourselves because of the energy that we're putting out into the universe. So I hope that bit helps. And again, take anything here that resonates with you, leave the rest behind. No reader, no psychic, no medium is 100% correct. We just do the best we can with what we're given at any given time. And for our reading this week, I am using the Guardian of the Night Tarot, and then we'll finish with some crystal angel cards too for the oracle card. So as an overview for this week, pairs are emphasized. We have a couple of wands, we have a couple of majors, and we lean a little bit more toward the masculine with the elements, more wands and swords and cups and earth. Actually, I don't think, we have 1 pentacle, 1 cup here, but then we also have 2 sevens. So the twos, the pairing, the balancing energy is stronger than any other for this reading. So we start our Monday, again, moon in Virgo, with the 4 of Wands. So I'll try to bring that close so you can get a visual on this very, very pretty card. So very often in artist depictions of this, you'll see a sort of tent, almost like an archway, where someone is making a symbolic change, often associated with a wedding, things like that. And if you look closely here, we have these 2 trees and then the moon sitting in between. So I do feel it's very much like beckoning to us, given that it is the moon being full this week, it really seems to be like pulling us into that. 4s are very stable, wands are instinctual. So what do your instincts tell you that could be a good move for you forward in life in some ways? Also, like, what do you have to celebrate? And then Tuesday, we get one of the 2 majors for the week, and that's the Fool. I think it's very interesting what the artist did here. You have your wolf, I believe, and then the rabbit looking really unconcerned, and the wolf looking actually a bit tentative, which is interesting to me. But the card is the first of all the majors. It is the beginning of the journey, so we start out intact, full of spirit, naive, and then we learn as we go. So there's some great energy for opening up in a new direction, perhaps getting a whole new perspective coming from innocence on Tuesday. Wednesday, we have a Wands card here, and it is the 6. Sometimes this is seen as victory. You'll often see a horse depicted in this card, and someone riding into town, maybe carrying a banner or being crowned, something like that. Here we have such a different image. This creature sitting, meerkat I believe, on top of some sort of block, and the other 5, actually 6, that's interesting. So we actually have 7 on here. There's 6 at the bottom, the 1 on the thing. There's a victory, and you get the feeling that this one is on top or doing all the dreaming for the rest, something like that. But that's that Wands energy again of instinct, and this is our second one. So there's some kind of victory, some good news that happens, or something you can feel good about in your world on Wednesday. Thursday, we get the 10 of Cups. So this is our first of the feminine cards for the week. And it's so pretty. I just love how richly drawn this one is. And then all of the beautiful colors, the chalices in that sort of gorgeous blue. And it's a very happy card. It often is associated with a happy home, abundant, good feelings, almost being saturated with those good feelings. When we get to the 10s, there's always that momentum to roll back to the beginning. And the Ace of Cups, of course, is about love, particularly self-love, being connected to Source and so forth. So this is connection to Source, but sharing it with other people. So great day to be connected to those that you love, to share that love and so forth. Friday, we get the only real challenging card of the week. And I mentioned, that there were pairs, and we have 2 7s, and this is that first 7. 7 of Swords, and sometimes people see this one as the Thief. I don't feel that energy with our Black Panther here. It feels more stealthy. It's interesting. Always, I believe, on this card. I cannot think of an exception, but I'm sure there are some. The swords are broken. They're not grouped together is what I mean. Like here, you see you've got 2 at the very top of the card, 4 over beside on the left side, and then at the bottom, there's another one in front of the Panther. So what is that about? It seems to suggest that there are different ideas. Swords are mental. Where are these different ideas coming from? What are the sharp places in life? Are they hidden in the subconscious? Are they right in front of us? Are they buried in some way? So taking that energy, which can also represent futility, and trying to figure out what it is that we really want. And, to maybe get rid of that kind of separation. And to help us with that, the cards generously gave us the antidote for Saturday. And that is the Chariot, also a number 7, and a movement forward, contemplating where to go, what to do, but feeling an energy that's strong. I mean, it's a major, so there is a buildup of this energy that has been accruing and is getting ready to go forward. So if it feels a bit uncomfortable on Friday, makes a lot of sense because that is the day, that Friday afternoon of the full moon, the Scorpio eclipse, that lunar eclipse. And they can be challenging. Um, they also encourage us to look 6 months at least ahead to the future. So we're letting things go, maybe clearing the deck for some new energy to come in. And, this can help. So the Seven Swords could be like, well, what is it again that I really want? What do I need to let go of? What's not a priority right now? So that that energy can be much better focused and move forward like it is here. And then finally we get to Sunday, and the King of Pentacles comes up. So it's a cow, which I think is a little bit of an interesting choice given that it's a masculine. It's a feminine masculine because it's Pentacles, earth energy. But yet it is a king. So we have a very decorated, reminds me, of the cow in Hinduism. It's beautifully decorated. It's obviously sacred in this. And, typically the King of Pentacles represents the material world, accomplishments in that direction, sometimes doing things in a very slow way. I mean, the dark side of it can be greed, but, for most of us, that's not where we're coming from. It's much more, how do I build a world for myself and my friends and my family, to share with them. That feels good, that feels prosperous, that feels solid. And Scorpio and Taurus are on a financial axis in the zodiac wheel. Taurus all about the resources, as I mentioned earlier, and Scorpio about the wealth. And so they both involve that. The Taurus side, more of the natural wealth, and then on the Scorpio, more of the accumulated, sort of manipulated, you might even think of, maybe even curated kind of wealth. So he can represent either side of that. So, up to you to choose. So again, a week where pairs are emphasized, and we might also connect that to the fact that we do have this eclipse, and these eclipses, as I said, always work on these axes. We have the one in Aries, which is a little bit different because it wasn't the Taurus. So normally we have them in these opposite signs, but this time we had that odd second new moon in Aries in a row. That's rare. So here we are with this eclipse, and hopefully a big change for the positive, getting rid of the old that doesn't suit you anymore, and feeling, some balance this week, some celebration, some renewal, perhaps with the Fool, seeing things with fresh eyes, some victories, some happiness to share with people. Maybe on Friday seeing, what needs to be adjusted or gathered together, what's, causing you mental distress. Integrating that, moving forward on on Saturday, and then, feeling solid on Sunday, feeling your wealth, maybe relaxing some, and counting your blessings. For our Oracle card this week from the Crystal Angels deck, Azurite is what came up. And if you've ever seen this in person, I mean, this, I think the card is beautiful, but the actual stone itself is incredibly bright and intense and beautiful. So it represents deep emotional healing. Your heart is ready to heal from past experiences, and you are willing to devote time and energy toward therapeutic care. I think that also fits, with our Scorpio eclipse, because Scorpio is medicinal too. It transmutes the poisons. It takes them. I mean, of course, it has as animal representatives, the Scorpio and the snake. And when you get into the higher levels, the eagle, and then finally the phoenix. But you know, those lower creatures do have that poison. So we can either inflict, you know, poison through Scorpio energies, or we can heal. So, you know, obviously that would be the direction I would encourage. So Azurite, deep emotional healing. This is a positive card showing that you're ready, beloveds, to process and move on from painful experiences and trauma. This means that you're open to receiving healing energy and insights about your experiences. You're guided to devote time for your personal healing work. This may involve appointments with a therapist or healer, or spending extra time in prayer or meditation, or on self-care practices. Detoxification from chemicals and processed food, from negative influences, comes up very strongly for you now. And you know, this is a reading for the collective, so to, you know, greater or lesser degrees that might apply to you, but again, it just so fits with that Scorpio. And here's just a little note about azurite. This beautiful royal blue stone is an oxidized form of copper. Azurite is helpful for facilitating spiritual visions and clairvoyance, as well as deep emotional healing. So that is what I wish for you this week, some deep emotional healing. And thank you so much for being here. I sincerely appreciate all of you. And I hope this reaches far and wide. And please consider liking, sharing, subscribing. That would really help a lot. And let me know if there are things that you would like for me to cover, or you have questions about that. And if you're interested in a personal reading, you can find my information below in the description box and a little bit at the end of this video. So have a beautiful week, everybody. See you soon.